This lifetime isn't about repeating what you've already mastered. It's not about staying in your comfort zone. It's about strengthening what's weak, expanding into what's unfamiliar, and becoming whole because your strengths, the things that come easily to you, are not random. These are memories from past lives. You've done this before. Some people are born with rare gifts, a beautiful singing voice, a brain that picks up languages, a natural talent for leading, creating, healing. These aren't just talents. This is literal proof of past life mastery. You've walked through lifetimes collecting these skills. Like it reminds me of the avatar, learning to bend each element. But you're not here to do the same thing over again. You are here to evolve, to move towards wholeness, to escape this Maya, this simulation, to become the version of yourself that has never existed before. Because real spiritual growth, real gnosis, only comes when you stop polishing your strengths and start facing your shadows. And in astrology, we see this through the North Node and the South Node. Your South Node is the part of you that's already been developed across lifetimes. It's your natural talent, your emotional habits, your default personality. It's the I've been here before energy, familiar, easy, but staying there too long, it does hold your soul back. And if you're really trying to raise your consciousness and eventually escape from this simulation, then we've got to start digging into the uncomfortable things. We've got to fight the shadow self, which is your North Node in astrology. It's your challenge, your discomfort, your evolution. It's the life path your soul hasn't walked yet, but deeply, deeply wants to. It might feel weird at first, a bit wrong, but that's only because you haven't mastered it yet. So, for example, if your South Node is in Leo, you're used to being in the spotlight, but your North Node is in Aquarius and it's asking you to step back, to calibrate, to lead for the collective, not for the applause. If your South Node is in Taurus, you may cling to comfort and stability, but your North Node is in Scorpio and is asking you to face change, intensity, and emotional depth. Yeah, each node pair is like a compass. One shows you where you've been, the other shows you where you're going. So the question is, are you staying safe inside your past? Or are you boldly stepping into your future? Because this life isn't about staying the same. It's about becoming whole. It's about becoming the avatar, master of all elements, not just one. And that means facing the unfamiliar, walking into the unknown and trusting that your North Node is not just your direction, it is your destiny. Some people also believe that the North and South nodes represent karmic lessons, unfinished business from previous lifetimes that the soul chooses to resolve in this life. The South Node holds patterns and behaviors carried over from past experiences, sometimes repetitive cycles we need to break from. Like if you believe in Gnostics or even just reincarnation, a lot of this reincarnation can be happening because we're just repeating the same things that we've been told to do. Like we've always been told to focus on our strengths, and I don't think that's what we're supposed to be doing here. I think that's a good way to keep us trapped by following that. And some spiritual systems relate this to energy centers, your chakras, balancing and activating different chakras as you evolve through your soul's purpose. And also, the soul often makes contracts or agreements before incarnating. This is another popular theory. It chooses challenges and strengths to experience for growth and spiritual evolution. And the North Node is part of fulfilling these pre birth intentions.